Hi everyone, this is FP and Profit, here again to introduce Sanctum Governance. We're super excited to roll this out. So in this, it's just a quick chat, talk about, sort of answer some quick questions, and then kind of explain how we're going to roll this out. So the first question, of course, is why governance? Like cloud holders should obviously shape the future of Sanctum. I believe that good governance can help us make better decisions, which means a higher chance of Sanctum success. In the long term, for Sanctum to become truly decentralized, we need to have good governance that can actually make better decisions than the core team. So in the future, Sanctum will have hundreds of independent contributors, all working to build the best possible version of Sanctum.
So the second question is, what's wrong with regular DAO governance? So most DAOs today use token voting, and token voting is a poor way of making decisions. In many ways, it mirrors regular voting, where most voters don't really understand what's being voted on, or what's going on, really. For example, only 37% of Americans even know the name of their congressional representative. And the root problem here is incentives. There's not an incentive to deeply research proposals or votes, if there's even an incentive to vote at all, which is somewhat dubious. So an example of this on Ethereum is a project called Aragon. So Aragon itself was a DAO project. They built DAO tooling, but felt uncomfortable moving their assets to a DAO because they feared that the voters would do things they didn't like they didn't want to liquidate the treasury, for example. And so if even our DAO tooling projects are reluctant to put their money in DAOs, we have a problem.
So the next question is, what did Sanctum do instead and why? So we are actually working together very closely with MetaDAO to launch a special type of governance called Futarchy. And let me just explain a little bit of the difference between regular governance and Futarchy. So in regular governance, how it usually works is that you stake your tokens and you vote with them. And more often than not, your voting power is proportional to how much tokens you've staked. In Sanctum Governance, you vote with your wallet. So you buy and sell cloud based on whether or not you think the proposal is good for the protocol. And so it's not about how much cloud you have staked, it's about how much cloud you buy and sell. The more people buy versus sell, the more likely the proposal is to pass. And yeah, of course, if it passes, then we implement it.
So the next question is, what are the benefits of Futarchy? And yeah, like as FP said, it's really a system where people put their money where their mouth is. They vote with their wallet. And it turns out that when people do this, when they put their money where their mouth is, they tend to be more accurate. So one example of this is prediction markets. Prediction markets have a long track record of beating professional pollsters at predicting who's going to win the election. People betting in a market like that have money at stake, so they really want to be right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the next question is, why should I care as a cloud holder? So obviously the idea is that governance helps us make better decisions together, right? Which means we're more likely to succeed together. But also, every vote in Futarchy is a learning experience. It's not just about blindly voting yes or no or what you kind of feel is right. So because you put your money where your mouth is, if you're right about whether or not the proposal is good for Sanctum, you will make money because you have bought cloud at lower than the market price. And if you're wrong, then you'll learn from the experience, right? The market will tell you, and then you'll be able to grow as a person, as a decision maker, as a trader. So you earn or you learn. Yeah, so how we're going to roll out governance is that in order to get people familiar with the governance, we're going to start with a fun vote. The idea of the fun vote is to get people used to the UI and the flow of voting, take in user feedback, iron out some bugs, etc. So we don't expect people to be trading lots of money on this. Maybe just like a couple of cents or dollars or whatever. Yeah, but of course, once that's done, there will be the first sort of like serious and proper vote. And that first vote will be whether or not Sanctum should implement cloud staking and active staking rewards. This is obviously a very huge and impactful vote. We've got many community members talking about it for months, about how staking should be implemented. It's very controversial. And yeah, so this is going to be really big, really impactful. The community will get to decide on the product that we build and how we should emit the tokens. By the time this video comes out, we'll have put a draft proposal up on the Sanctum Research forums. So please go on the forums, check it out, and let us know what you think. After about a week or so, we will make changes to the proposal, and then we'll put the proposal up for voting proper. And yeah, this should be the process for new proposals going forward in governance. Yeah.
So how this is actually going to work is, you'll go to the Sanctum site and you'll see something like a statement of the market thinks that cloud would be worth, say, 15 cents if this passes. If you think that it's too low, like cloud would be worth more if this proposal passes, then you can buy. You put in a USD amount, you pay with USDC, and you can execute your buy. It's just like buying cloud on Jupiter, except for that you get your USDC back if the proposal doesn't happen. So you're only really betting on whether or not it's good or not. You're not betting on whether or not the proposal is going to happen. And if you're bearish the proposal, you can also sell your cloud in that market, and you also get your cloud back if the proposal doesn't happen. And so the proposal only passes if the community on net thinks it's bullish. There has to be more buy volume than sell volume for it to pass.
That does sound a little bit complicated, but we promise that the moment, once you've gone into the UI and played with it, and we've taken great pains at Sanctum to make it as easy and accessible as possible. We'll walk you through the whole process, and I think the moment you make your first vote, it will all kind of make sense. Yeah. So yeah, we've been cooking this for a very long time together, and this is one of the biggest experiments in DAO governance, and I'm really excited for you guys to join in.
I'm excited as well for Sanctum to be the second big Futarchy, and I'm excited for all the Sanctum community members to become early members of this movement that could radically change the way civilization operates. It's kind of like you get to be an early Athenian citizen.